Rest and recovery is a significant part of an exercise program, particularly for elevated-level athletes. Competitors comprehend the significance of exercise training for ideal execution and improvement. Nonetheless, rest and recovery is likewise a significant part of an exercise program since it permits the body time to fix and reinforce itself in the middle of workouts. It additionally permits the athlete to recover, both truly and mentally. What occurs during the recovery time frame? The body is permitted to adjust to the stress related with exercise, recharges muscle glycogen, vitality stores, and gives time to the body tissue to fix. There are two unique classes of recovery. Prompt or short-term recovery. This is the most widely recognized type of recovery and happens inside hours after an exercise meeting or occasion. Momentary recovery incorporates less exceptional exercise subsequent to working out and during the cool-down stage. Long-haul recovery. This alludes to recovery periods that are incorporated with an occasional training plan and may incorporate days or weeks consolidated into a yearly athletic program. Rest is another significant part of rest and recovery with regards to sports execution. Competitors who are sleep-denied are in danger of losing high-impact continuance and may encounter unpretentious changes in hormone levels, which can prompt more significant levels of cortisol, a stress hormone, just as a lessening in human growth hormone, which is dynamic during tissue fix. In the event that you are a high-level athlete or have a relative that is engaged with a sport that requires a higher level of fitness, Michigan State University Extension suggests that you screen workouts with a training log. A training log can help you in monitoring how the body feels after an exercise meeting. This will help in deciding recovery needs and whether the training project ought to be altered. Most athletes realize that getting enough rest after exercise is fundamental to high-level execution, however many still overtrain and feel regretful when they take a vacation day. The body fixes and reinforces itself in the time among workouts, and constant training can really debilitate the most grounded athletes. Rest days are basic to sports performance for an assortment of reasons. Some are physiological and some are mental. Rest is truly important so the muscles can fix, revamp, and fortify. For recreational athletes, working in rest days can help keep up a superior harmony between home, work, and fitness goals. In the most dire outcome imaginable, to hardly get any rest and recovery days can prompt overtraining disorder, a troublesome condition to recoup from. What occurs during recovery? Incorporating recovery time with any training program is significant on the grounds that this is the time that the body adjusts to the stress of exercise and the genuine training impact happens. Recuperation likewise permits the body to recharge vitality stores and fix harmed tissues. Exercise or some other physical work causes changes in the body, for example, muscle tissue breakdown and the exhaustion of vitality stores or muscle glycogen, just as liquid misfortune. Recuperation time permits these stores to be recharged and permits tissue fix to happen. Without an adequate chance to fix and renew, the body will keep on a breakdown from serious exercise. Side effects of overtraining frequently happen from an absence of recovery time. Indications of overtraining incorporate a sentiment of general discomfort, staleness, discouragement, diminished sports performance, and expanded danger of injury, among others. Short-term and long-term recovery. Remember that there are two classifications of recovery. There is quick, short-term recovery from an especially extreme training meeting or occasion, and there is the long-term recovery that should be incorporated with an all-year training plan. Both are significant for ideal sports performance. Momentary recovery, once in a while called active recovery, happens in the hours following extraordinary exercise. Dynamic recovery alludes to taking part in low-intensity exercise after workouts during both the cool-down stage following a hard exertion or workout, just as during the days following the workout. The two kinds of active recovery are connected to execution benefits. Another significant focal point of recovery promptly following exercise has to do with renewing vitality stores and liquids lost during exercise and improving protein amalgamation, the way toward expanding the protein substance of muscle cells, forestalling muscle breakdown, and expanding muscle size by eating the correct nourishments in the post-exercise dinner. This is additionally the ideal opportunity for delicate tissue, muscles, ligaments, tendons, fix and the expulsion of synthetics that develop because of cell action during exercise. Getting quality sleep is additionally a significant piece of short-term recovery. Try to get a lot of sleep, particularly in the event that you are doing hard training. Long-haul recovery methods allude to those that are worked into an occasional training program. Most all-around planned training timetables will incorporate recovery days as well as weeks that are incorporated with a yearly training schedule. This is additionally the explanation athletes and coaches change their training program consistently, include cross-training, alter workouts types, and make changes in power, time, separation, and the various training factors. Adjustment to exercise. The principle of adaptation expresses that when we experience the pressure of physical exercise, our body adjusts and turns out to be increasingly effective. It's much the same as learning any new ability. From the start, it's troublesome, however after some time it turns out to be natural. When you adjust to a given stress, you require extra worry to keep on gaining ground. There are cut-off points to the amount of stress the body can endure before it separates and endangers injury. Accomplishing an excess of work also rapidly will bring about injury or muscle harm, yet doing pretty much nothing also gradually won't bring about any improvement. This is the reason personal trainers set up explicit training programs that expand time and power at an arranged rate and permit rest days all through the program. Lack of sleep can block sports performance. By and large, a couple of evenings of poor or little sleep won't have a lot of effect on execution. However, reliably getting insufficient sleep can bring about inconspicuous changes in hormone levels, especially those identified with stress, muscle recovery, and state of mind. While nobody totally comprehends the complexities of sleep, research distributed in 2015 demonstrates that sleep deprivation can prompt expanded degrees of cortisol, a pressure hormone, diminish the action of human growth hormone, which is dynamic during tissue fix, and diminished glycogen blend. Offset exercise with rest and recovery. It is this variation of adjustment and recovery that takes the athlete to a more significant level of fitness. Elevated level athletes need to understand that the more noteworthy the training power and exertion, the more noteworthy the requirement for arranged recovery. Observing your workouts with a training log, and focusing on how your body feels and how roused you are is very useful in deciding your recovery needs and altering your training program appropriately. Rest and recovery are basic segments of any fruitful training program. They are additionally the least arranged and underutilized approaches to improve performance. You may not know that there is a distinction between rest and recovery or how to appropriately actualize them both. In the event that you train for 10 hours out of each week, you have 158 non-training hours or 95% of your time left for rest and recovery. Where is the entirety of this extra time going, and for what reason do you stroll into your workout hauling? Most effortlessly characterized as a mix of sleep and time spent not training, rest is the least demanding to comprehend and actualize. How you sleep and invest this energy is basic. Recuperation, be that as it may, alludes to methods and activities taken to amplify your body's fix. These incorporate hydration, nourishment, pose, heat, ice, extending, self-myofascial discharge, stress the executives, pressure, and time spent standing as opposed to sitting as opposed to resting. Recuperation is multifaceted and includes something beyond muscle fix. Recuperation includes substance and hormonal equalization, sensory system fix, mental state, and then some. We have various frameworks that need to recover. These incorporate hormonal, neurological, and basic. Our basic framework incorporates muscles, ligaments, tendons, and bones. Muscles recoup the fastest in light of the fact that they get immediate bloodstream. Ligaments, tendons, and bones get aberrant bloodstream and thusly can take more time to recover and be increasingly helpless to overtraining stress. For most, the objective ought not to be set for flawlessness or incorporate precisely right degrees of each factor. Leave that for professional athletes to make progress toward. We will likely organize life and expand execution without giving up on one's own priorities. Kick back, unwind, and appreciate a night out with companions. Request your preferred lager and get the ribs, as this may mentally profit you more, permit you to loosen up, and put you in a superior spot to proceed instead of another lonely night of broccoli and chicken. Life for an athlete who penances everything for execution can desolate and tedious. A decent mix of rest and recovery alongside appropriate diet and exercise ought to be a piece of any fitness routine. Except if you are contending at a tip-top level, you ought to follow the 80-20 principle. 80% of your time can be spent concentrating on diet and exercise, while 20% ought to be left for getting a charge out of life. As such, don't let yourself get excessively enveloped with flawlessness. Next, we will separate the subcomponents of rest and recovery to give you better knowledge on the most proficient method to improve execution and by and large personal satisfaction. A sound and glad athlete performs better, however, they can give time and vitality to others moreover. Components of rest and recovery. 1. Rest. Rest is the most significant opportunity to recover. Satisfactory degrees of sleep help to give mental health, hormonal equalization, and strong recovery. You have to get enough sleep, which is between 7 to 10 hours for most athletes. Everybody has singular needs dependent on their way of life, workouts, and hereditary cosmetics. Natural air and cooler temperatures help to improve the nature of sleep. Wake up with the sun if conceivable. Rest in the most characteristic setting conceivable, with insignificant to no fake lights. Hours slept before 12 around evening time are demonstrated to be more compelling than those slept after. 2. Hydration. Drinking sufficient measures of water is basic to health, vitality, recovery, and execution. Competitors will in general be mindful of hydration levels near and during rivalries, however, keeping that mindfulness during training and recovery times can make similarly as enormous an effect. Water helps the entirety of our capacities. A couple of models are progressively effective supplement take-up, low levels of weight on the heart, improved skin tone, and better hair quality. The least difficult approach to check hydration is to take a gander at your urine. In the event that it is obvious to light yellow, you are hydrated. The darker and more shading in your pee, the less hydrated you are and more water you have to drink. Water is the most ideal approach to hydrate. Sports drinks are just required for previously, during, and after difficult training or fulfillment. Don't drink them essentially on the grounds that they taste great. Flavorings, crystal light, and different added substances basically give you framework more to process and cause it further strain. Stick to including a lemon or lime. 3. Sustenance. All that you eat can help recuperate your body or to harm it. This may sound solid, yet alcohol and prepared nourishments contain poisons and are destructive to the body. We don't care to suggest a particular diet, however, eating spotless and adjusted dinners with some restraint is demonstrated to be compelling to stay healthy and increment execution. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more tips, information, and advice from Wellness World.